Are you a woman navigating a high pressure, high stakes career where you're carrying the burden of your own business and you're feeling overwhelmed, swamped, on the brink of burnout? You've lost that sense of work life balance. This video is for you. In just 4 minutes, I'll walk you through a straightforward process to establish effective boundaries between your work and your personal life, a method that you can utilize anytime, anywhere. And just for watching this, if you drop a line saying banish burnout, I'll send you a link to my free 5-minute training on the #1 method that neuroscientists use to protect themselves from burnout, immediately feel calm, and resolve feelings of overwhelm. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah Anderson, and my clients call me the Burnout Whisperer because over the last 23 years, I have helped more than 4,000 women in high pressure, high stakes careers and businesses banish burnout for good. And in every single video, I share one small exercise that you can use to feel better in the next 10 minutes. And as I mentioned earlier, over the next 4 minutes, I'll teach you how to set effective boundaries between your work and your personal life so that you can end overwhelm. You can feel really good. You can have the balance you're looking for, and you can prevent burnout. So let's get to the heart of the matter, okay? As women, we are pretty adept at managing multiple roles, tasks, demands that come across our personal and our professional lives. But there is a thin line that separates us from feeling successful and thriving to feeling fried and burned out. And this line becomes blurred when work and personal life meld into one, right? It's a situation we've all become way too familiar with. So when this occurs, the risk of draining our mental, emotional, physical resources skyrockets. It leads to a spiral of overwhelm, exhaustion, and ultimately burnout. So I'd like for you to think of boundaries as our protective shields. They allow us to engage fully without self-sacrificing and without self-depletion. Boundaries provide the platform for us to live authentically, aligning with our desires rather than succumbing to the pressures and the demands and the tasks. However, I often see women making a huge mistake with their boundaries. They think that they're robust until they find themselves staying late at work to finish up a project or working into the night at home in order to try and get some things off of their plate, thinking that that's going to free up some of their time. They miss meals, skip workouts, they sideline their boundaries. And these boundary violations come at a huge cost, one often higher than perceived gains. So I'd like for you to think of your boundaries as your most valuable asset. And picture this, all right? Picture yourself as a castle surrounded by a moat and a sizable drawbridge. When faced with opportunities, needs, demands, tasks, pressures, to-dos, you hold the power to lower your drawbridge or not. And there are times where you might allow a few things to cross, but you keep your castle gate shut, or other times you might just observe from the window, kind of taking your time. Regardless, you remain in command of your castle. So if we begin to view boundaries as our means of self-protection, self-preservation, we can fortify our efforts towards a more balanced life, and we can shield ourselves from burnout and overwhelm. So remember, boundaries are your safeguard, and you have the power to say no or to say yes, to set limits, to delegate. It is you who remains in control. And whenever you feel like your boundaries are wavering, or you might be crossing them some yourself, revisit your castle, your drawbridge, and re-examine, reevaluate what's permitted to cross. So always remember that the secret to preserving your work-life balance and overall well-being lies in the robustness and the effective use of your boundaries. If you permit every demand, however minor, however insignificant, to cross your bridge, these small boundary breaches can accumulate, extracting a hefty toll in the long run. So scrutinize what you're allowing to cross. Be decisive in saying no to those demands that exact too much of a high cost. Establish firm limits on what you will and won't permit, and delegate as much as possible to minimize congestion on your bridge. And whenever in doubt, again, pause for a moment, visualize your castle and your drawbridge, and consciously decide if it's something or someone that you genuinely wish to grant access. So thank you for watching. And remember, if you comment banish burnout below this video, I'll share a link to my free 5-minute training on the premier method that neuroscientists use to protect themselves from burnout, overcome overwhelm, and you don't have to opt into anything. So take control of your boundaries today and bid farewell to burnout forever.